Oh, we should talk, though, that we didn't plan our ensemble.
Oh, yeah, we did it.
We're not sponsored by Under Armour. I wouldn't mind being sponsored.
Under Armour could sponsor us, and we wouldn't get angry.
No, not at all. If you're not familiar with the name Dougie Peoples, well, he's a bit of a legend in his hometown of Butte, Montana. To be clear, Dougie would never refer to himself as a legend, but after his heroics in last year's championship game, it's not really up to him. His 37 points and 30-foot walk-off shot cemented his name in Butte lore for all of eternity. For his senior year, he picked up right where he left off. He broke the all-time Butte boys scoring record held by another Butte legend, Jumpin' Joe Kelly. 1,404 points, a record that stood for almost 80 years. Days later, he broke his school single-game scoring record of 42 points when he scored 44 against Corvallis. And most recently, Dougie scored 41 in the Western A Divisional title game, with 23 of those coming in the fourth quarter alone. They beat Frenchtown and clinched the top seed heading into the state tournament. In my opinion, he's one of the best players to ever come out of Montana. And for the record, he's one of my all-time favorite humans. Talk to me about the last few weeks. I mean, the month of February was pretty damn good for you.
Yeah.
First, breaking the record at home, and what was that like, breaking that record? And I mean, you knew it was coming up, right? You knew you were close?
Yeah, well, I thought I was like 40 points away, but it turns out I was only like 10 points away or something like that. So I actually didn't know what was, but I could tell something was up when everybody had their phones out at the Mac. So I was like, but then I had like made the layup or whatever, and they called timeout, and it was just really cool. It was just cool to like hear that I surpassed like such a big name like that. So
Dougie Peoples has become the all-time leading scorer in boys varsity basketball for the entire city of Butte, passing Jumping Joe Kelly.
To do it with my team and like with Brody and everyone just celebrating me, and I'm just so lucky to have like the team and the Butte community to just really like embrace me, and it's been a really fun month.
Last time I saw you was here in Butte for the Crosstown game at the Civic Center. Mm-hmm. And when you came out, I was like, we'll get 40 tonight. Just joking, but I knew you had it in you, and you hadn't hit the 40-point mark, right? In high school, had you hit the 40-point mark?
No, I had 39 last year at the divisional semifinals against Frenchtown.
Soft.
Yeah.
So it wasn't long after
Yeah.
you hit the mark.
Yeah.
I know you don't like talking about the numbers and all the records and stuff like that. But I mean, you obviously are proud of that. I mean, especially coming from this town.
Yeah. Kind of like growing up, knowing all like the Butte athletes and just like looking up to the Butte athletes, and like my Nana used to talk about Jumpin' Joe Kelly like all the time, like would just tell me how awesome Jumpin' Joe Kelly was, and to have like me break his record or whatever was just kind of like cool. And I know that my Nana was just smiling down, like it was a cool moment, especially just growing up hearing about Jumpin' Joe Kelly, so it was awesome.
Yeah. And then you come to divisionals, and you get into that championship game, kind of went off a little bit there in the fourth quarter.
When someone's like making shots, we get them the ball, and like they get me open so well, and my teammates and Brody, they make my life so much easier, and that's not always talked about, and it should be talked about more. Like, they get me open and they get me some shots where that way I can like score and I can produce for the team. But sometimes like my name gets brought up, but it's a byproduct of my teammates and Brody.
Yeah.
It's a really flattering photo of Brody.
He looks good.
Yeah.
How old was he there? What do you think?
50s, 60s.
Wow. Then he really looks good for his age.
Yeah.
Brody's an awesome coach. He's awesome. Like, we would not be even close to where we are without Brody. He's awesome.
One thing I love about him that I've learned is that he doesn't call timeouts.
No, he doesn't.
And as someone,
he hates it when one time I was stuck in the corner. It was like end of game, and I called a timeout, and he was just like, "Why did you call that timeout?" We had 6 of them. There's like 10.
He'd rather you take the turnover.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't like timeouts very much, but
I mean, I love it as someone who's like stuck sitting on the floor or having to
I know, I hate, like,
because
when you're
games
watching.
go by a lot
Yeah.
faster when you know.
That's probably what's in his mind. He's like, I'm not going to call a timeout for the sake of the fans.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's what it is. He cares about us in the media. He cares about the fans. That's hilarious. At least he called one for you after you set the record.
Yeah.
That was sweet of him.
That was nice of him.
That would have been amazing if he's like, Dougie, I don't call timeouts.
I don't call
You're like,
timeouts.
Coach,
I can't.
I'm having a moment here.
That's funny. Yeah. He's a tough person too. Like, he's a competitive person. He's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I've met someone from Butte that isn't a competitive, like, tough person.
Yeah.
Do you watch yourself hit that buzzer beater like every day when you wake up?
No.
I would literally roll out of bed, roll over, and just hit play. That looks nice. Just to set myself for the day.
Sometimes I watch the game over again, like just the whole championship game. What's funny about that is I missed a lot of shots. Like,
Yeah, you did miss.
I missed a lot of good looks. So
Yeah. You might have been able to put up 50.
I missed a lot of shots.
So after that game, your brother, Ryan, right? I'll give him a little bit of a hard time here. You think? I haven't showed this video at all. I still have the video of him crying and saying, I love you, Doug. It was really sweet. It was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
But I want to use it. I want to, I might throw it in right now as we talk about it. Is he going to be okay with that?
Yeah, I think he will.
You think he will?
I love you so much. I love you so much.
He likes to say he's a better shooter than me, but he might be, honestly.
It'd be a fun little, we'd put you all in the three-point contest.
Yeah, he's a really good shooter.
Can you dunk? Is it the torso, lower body part?
Yeah, it just doesn't geometrically. You know
Geometrically,
what I mean?
yeah. It's okay.
My
You're
knees.
opposed to yourself.
Yeah, I totally would dunk, but my knees.
Oh,
you know,
right, yeah.
My
You
hips
gotta
been
really
hurting
count
me.
your steps when
Yeah.
you get up. What were you kind of dealing with as far as you had to feel a ton of pressure after what you accomplished and your team accomplished last season?
Definitely, like the pressure that I think we all were under was like kind of a lot, and our coaches did a good job of just being like, guys, would like let's just take it one game at a time, just like, and the community was good too. Like, they obviously have high expectations for us, but I mean, they love us and they're so good to us that, I mean, we felt pressure definitely, but I think we did a good job of handling it.
You had to be nervous just going into the first game. I mean, especially coming off football season where you had a scare with your knee injury.
Yeah.
But like, how thankful are you that you were able just to play this year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like halfway through our football season, we thought that I like really had a bad knee injury. So for like about 3 days there, I thought like my senior season was over, and that was extremely like emotional. And then when we found out I was okay and stuff, I mean, I think that I don't take anything for granted because of that. Like the feeling that not only me, but like like I was getting texts from the whole community saying sorry and things like that, and so just to know that I can go out and play is such a blessing, and I think that maybe that was like part of the plan for me, because now I really don't take for granted every single game that I get to play.
Yeah. Were you saying some prayers like, please let this be
Yeah,
okay?
because I mean they were doing like the tests or whatever, and they were like, yeah, like I'm really sorry, Dougie, and that was really, really emotional. So it's almost like some sort of miracle did happen, because turned out to be like, I mean, I couldn't play the rest of the season, but the football season, but it ended up not being as bad as we thought, which was like such a relief. Like,
What was the conversation like around the house? Was everybody pretty much like not talking?
like our house was completely silent, and if we did talk, like everyone was such a mess. Like, it was awful. It was honestly like, it was terrible. But to just like, I think that I needed that to kind of like appreciate how amazing last year was and how amazing I can make this year, and I'm glad that I can really appreciate things like that now.
As we continued to talk, I felt probably like so many from Butte. Proud. Just proud of him. He's everything you want your child to grow up and become. And it's all the things outside and beyond athletics. You'd almost never guess that this kind, caring, and thoughtful young fella wants to rip your throat out on the court. When you know Dougie outside of basketball and sports, you know the real Dougie. A really, really good soul. Someone you just can't help but root for. You seem like the type of person that's been able to appreciate things, you know, that a lot of younger people don't appreciate because they're young.
I think a part of my cousin Marissa, she died of lung cancer when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and that was really, really hard for me because I was super close with her. And around that same time, I had 6 heart ablations. I had SVT, it's called. So I spent a lot of time at Mayo Clinic dealing with I had 6 heart surgeries, and it was just a really hard time in my life, just that kind of period. And I think that has kind of shaped me into the person I am today, because I really don't take anything for granted, and every day that we get with the people that you love is really special. So that was really hard to deal with growing up.
That definitely shapes you and forces you to grow up a lot faster.
Yeah.
How much do you think about her as you step on the court?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Marissa we always talked about her as the best shooter in the Peoples family. She only got to play her freshman and sophomore year, and she played both those years and she was awesome. She taught me how to shoot a free throw. Growing up, she taught me everything about basketball. Me and her were always at the MAC, and I always called her my second mom. She was awesome. When I'm at the free throw line and stuff, I always am just Marissa, come on, please help me. Every time that I step on the floor, Marissa is definitely in the back of my head.
I don't know what there is to not like about you. I mean, there's probably people that want to not like you, but I don't understand that that's possible. What kind of pressure are you feeling heading into this state tournament this year?
I think that we have some pressure on us being the champions last year and around our community, but I think throughout the state, I think a lot of people think that Lewistown is the favorite going in.
Yeah. And I mean, they're pretty good.
They're really good. They're really good.
Do you text with any of those guys?
I used to in the summer, but we actually haven't talked all year.
Y'all are on just 2 different planes right now, right? You're just
they are a really, really good team.
Yeah.
They're really good players.
Okay, so over the summer, did you guys talk at all about the championship game?
It's kind of funny because the select people would give those two a hard time.
That's rude.
So it was kind of funny, but I did feel bad for them, because if I was on the opposite end of that,
oh, it'd be incredible.
I mean, it'd be gut wrenching. So,
yeah. Dude, what do you want to do when you you gonna be a coach? You gonna be an engineer? What are you gonna do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well,
I don't know. I'm so indecisive about after high school.
I noticed that. Well, do you have any desires? I mean, do you want to be a paramedic? Do you want to be
Maybe
a
law
doctor? Do you
school.
want to be law school?
Maybe.
Like, okay, well, when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Like a cashier.
All right, well, I'm sure there's plenty of positions open for cashiers. Okay, that's different. A lot of little boys want to be a fireman or a police officer. Dougie, he wanted to be a cashier. Cool. Is it the buttons? You just like the
I
buttons?
like
on the
yeah, like
register
the
and
scanning.
swiping.
Yeah.
You're like my 2-year-old. Every time we go into the supermarket, he wants to take our card and put it in and swipe it and push all the buttons. Good to know. Good to know. What's your GPA?
Like a 4.12.
4.12. Yeah, that's okay. I was a terrible student.
Really?
Oh, I was terrible. All I wanted to do was play sports. I hated school. I was so bad at it. Because I didn't apply myself.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in high school, I didn't know you could get anything higher than a 4.0.
I think it's because I took college classes. So that's
Oh,
probably why.
look at you. Same. My college class was government. That's how I felt when I was taking it. I was like, this feels like college class. And thank God the football coach was teaching it.
Yeah. We have a really good government teacher right now. Her name's Dr. Hibbard.
Oh, she's a doctor?
Yeah. Shout out Dr. Hibbard.
Okay. That's good. She'll like that. That shouldn't be allowed on a. Shouldn't be allowed to shout out any teachers. Do you bring her an apple every day too?
Yeah.
Do you have any final words? Anything you'd like to say?
Nope. Just don't put anything about college. Nothing.
No, you don't have to worry.
Okay, good.
My word is my bond.